Oh no, that kinda sucked. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here. I just finished watching the 45-minute state of play that Sony put on, and I will admit, this had quite a bit of variety in it. It was a presentation that had quite a bit of gameplay, a bunch of VR stuff, indie games, AAA experiences, and it all ended off with an extended look at Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which honestly looks freaking terrible. I do not know why you decided to do such a deep dive on a game that I feel like is going to instantly fail, but let's talk about this. Normally, when I discuss press conferences, I go from beginning to end, but honestly, the start of this showcase thing was incredibly boring, so let's start at the end and work backwards. Starting with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, I am a pretty big DC fanatic. I read a lot of the comic books, I watch the movies, I play the Batman games. I really like what DC Comics does. I'm quite a big Superman fan, specifically. This game, though, looks incredibly rough. They showed 15 minutes of gameplay, including an entire mission, a lot of dev interviews, and the more I see of this game, honestly, the worse it looks, and I'm so shocked to say that. So this is actually it. It is a generic third-person shooter. It's all based around the idea of 4-player co-op. You're playing as Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, and of course King Shark, and you're going across a bunch of different objective-based quests to try and kill the Justice League, who have been mind-controlled by Brainiac. The storyline of this, I think, has potential. The voice acting and the writing we've seen thus far does not seem completely terrible, but I just think this combat looks so incredibly boring. Oh my god, just something about sitting there and just holding R2 on a target. Like, these are superheroes with actual abilities, and they're just gonna fire guns. Like, King Shark can eat people. He is a god of the ocean, and you just use the 5 different styles of shotguns and rifles. What a incredibly bland idea. But that's not the worst part. They said the word I hate more than anything else. I play a lot of online games, and specifically a lot of MMORPGs. I play a lot of like Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft, and there is a word that instantly kills my excitement. That word is gear score. Now, what that means is this is what your inventory looks like. Gear score is basically this number that determines your character's power level. I hate this because basically, if you have high enough gear score, you can typically fight a boss, and if your gear score is too low, you simply can't. It is a generic, lazy game design loophole that just feels so half-assed. I do not know why they decided to dedicate so much time to a game that just looks like Avengers 2.0, and if this is as games as a service as it looks and as the leaks have hinted at, this game is going to be dead on day one. Now, moving on from that, then we hit the pinnacle of this presentation. This state of play should have totally been about the Resident Evil 4 remake, because this was by far the best part. They showed so much of the castle section and the cultists there. They actually showed tiny teases of the military island. We got a chance to see the main big bad guys, people like Krauser and Salazar. We just got so much different, great, amazing, raw chances to glance at the fact that Resident Evil 4 Remake actually looks like it may end up being bigger and better than the original, which is often considered to be one of the greatest games of all time. Now, they confirmed 2 amazing things about this today, besides just the tons and tons of gameplay. The Mercenary mode that everybody loves a lot. Mercenary mode is going to be in Resident Evil 4 Remake. Huzzah! Oh my god, I'm so happy about that. And additionally, we're going to be getting a demo for RE4 Remake very soon. They haven't set a specific date, but there have been rumors that there's going to be like a Capcom showcase soon, and I'm assuming they're going to shadow drop the demo then. I wish we had it right now, but whenever that comes out, I'm definitely going to be making a video about the demo. Honestly, the gameplay for the Resident Evil 4 remake straight up seems perfect. I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. It just, as a person who's beaten the original Resident Evil 4 like 15 times, this truly looks like an improvement in every single aspect. But next up, they showed off a bunch of new characters for Street Fighter 6. Even if you're not typically into fighting games, I think Street Fighter 6 looks absolutely marvelous. I'm glad characters like Cammy and Zangief are returning. The combos, the special moves, the counters, I really think I am going to try my best to get good at Street Fighter 6. Like, even if I completely get my face grounded to the pavement and I'm like rank D online, I want to try and at least get good enough to beat my friends. The gameplay of that also looked fantastic. Next up, they showed off some Baldur's Gate 3 gameplay. They released a chunk of the game last year, which was called Baldur's Gate 3 Act 1, and even the first chapter of that game was like 30 hours long, with literally thousands of lines of dialogue. This game still seems like it's spectacular. The release date has finally been confirmed, which is August 31st. Heck yes. Next up is stuff that did not appeal to me as much. Humanity, which is like a new little indie game made by the people that made Tetris Effect. Destiny 2 Lightfall. This is the next major expansion for Destiny 2. Now, I'm not really a Destiny hater. I actually played Destiny for a couple years, but I don't know. I kind of just got exhausted by that gear cycle of get a cool gun, replace your cool gun. I don't know. I kind of burnt out on it, but I will admit that this new trailer for Lightfall definitely looked good. I think that launches next week. I mean, for Destiny fans, it definitely looks like you guys are eating good. Now, then they showed off Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections. This is a Naruto fighting game, but I can't tell if this is like a collection of the previous Naruto fighting games or if it's an entirely new experience. But it certainly seems pretty dang neat. Between the major announcements, they did show off a bunch of little teeny tiny indie experiences where you're playing as like characters that are animals going to high school and stuff. You know, dramatic, cool, interesting, tinier, colorful indie games that personally didn't get me super hyped, but I guess they're interesting. But they also did something that I've never seen them do before, which is they put in a commercial for PlayStation Plus. They said if you subscribe to PlayStation Plus Extra, next month they're releasing a bunch of games for it, including Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, Battlefield 2042, Code Vein, Ghostwire Tokyo, Minecraft Dungeons, which I've played on Game Pass and like a lot. It's very strange. I made a video a couple days ago theorizing that PlayStation was really trying to push the PS Plus subscription numbers up. I definitely think this is a sign that they're really trying to get everybody that's buying PlayStation 5s right now to finally subscribe to PS Plus. Those games look great, but it still feels a bit weird to put that in the middle of this presentation. Now, what they decided to start this showcase off with, so what we're going to end this video with, was a deep dive into the PlayStation VR 2. I'm recording this on February 23rd, so technically I believe it released today, or it released yesterday. I did not buy a PlayStation VR 2, really because I'm just not super into VR, but I have heard very good things about it. I've heard that technology is good. I've heard Gran Turismo 7 specifically is like photorealistic. You can check your mirrors while flying at 100 miles an hour down a track. Well, they showed off 5 new PlayStation VR games, and they do look good. Stuff like Foglands, which appears to be like a horror first-person shooter roguelike, Green Hell VR, Synapses, Before Your Eyes. I mean, they showed off a pretty good chunk of completely new PlayStation VR 2 games that do seem pretty dang cool, but I don't know if they're for me. As a guy who's not really into VR, I was hoping for a bit more, standard PlayStation 5 experiences. I kind of wanted to see something like a Final Fantasy trailer, a tease of Final Fantasy Tactics, or I do kind of wish that the demo for Resident Evil 4 Remake dropped today. Overall, I would give this presentation a C. Maybe a C-, because as fun as it was from the Capcom stuff, everything else was pretty dang flat. Especially Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. That game is doomed. It seriously looks absolutely abysmal. But What do you guys think about this? Did you watch the Sony State of Play for February? And did it get you hyped? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a big old thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. And please keep dreaming. Oh my gosh, what a mess. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.